Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, that's your boy, isn't it? Chelsea fan. He got called up. What's your thoughts on him being called up to the England squad, first and foremost?
You see, like, for me, you have to look at Sarri. So, Mauricio Sarri, his whole narrative has been he's too young, he's not ready yet. The world-class talents of Pedro and Willian are far better than him, so that's why they're playing ahead of him. But
I missed that part. Repeat that part for me.
The world-class talents of Pedro and Willian, top 3 in the world, those world-class talents are apparently better than Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's Sarri speaking, not Double H. So, but then Southgate then picks it. So then you then think back and say, so how does that now look? If Southgate deems this guy good enough to actually be in the England setup, but he's not good enough to have more games, because basically the whole thing was saying, wait a minute, how are you calling a guy up who has hardly played any Premier League games and bits part games?
But that's for me. I personally, and I said it on the last podcast briefly. I didn't even go into it, but we can go into it now. I actually think, big up Callum Hudson-Odoi. Anyone gets called up for their national team, the boy's talented. I think he deserves to play more games for Chelsea. But for me, the call-up's a disgrace. Now, the reason why I say that, and I'm not talking about, it's not to do with him as an individual, because he's a quality player. But he hasn't started a Premier League game. It's as absurd, maybe not as, but it's up there with Sven-Göran Eriksson taking Theo Walcott to the World Cup.
It's not.
They have not. They've all played games. If arguably Theo Walcott had played more senior games before going to the World Cup than Hudson-Odoi has senior game for Chelsea.
But my thing is,
how is he getting called? Because national football is supposed to be the highest level of football. You can't even get into your club team.
No.
Yeah, you're going to the national team.
Which is why that this makes Sarri look like a fool, because everybody. Because trust me, when you're picking these teams, you're looking at everything. Because whenever these coaches, they have the tape of every minute that this person has played, and Southgate has said that every single time this guy has played, this guy looks really good. And remember, when you're doing these friendlies, you're looking at the big picture. Because you're looking at plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and everything.
Well, that wasn't a friendly, by the way. I believe that was a qualifier.
Oh, yeah, qualifier. Okay, yeah.
Qualifier,
so basically, so in his mind is because like when he's looking at Callum Hudson-Odoi, okay, this is a winger who's very direct, can cross, can get to the byline, is young. Now I'm combining that with what Sancho has, and I'm now trying to build a team that has that kind of speed and directness. This is a guy who maybe if I can bring on, can give me that extra bit of speed in the last 15 minutes. All of these tools have all been there. Whether he started the game or not, he has these attributes. So that speaks to how talented the guys that Santos has deemed that, no, this guy's skill set from what little I've seen is good enough for me to at least, let's just try him out in the international setup.
But Carl, how long does that last for? Like, if he still fails to get into the Chelsea team, he's still, and let's say next season he remains at Chelsea and still can't get in the team because he's got 1 year left on his contract. Can Southgate, is it right that he keeps calling him up over players who are getting into the teams? Let's say, for example, I don't know what the situation was with Jesse Lingard, because he he's been in the England side consistently throughout Southgate, and he did play the last Man United game before international break, so I was surprised that he didn't get called up. There may have been some in terms of fitness issues, I'm not 100% sure. But you think about people like Maddison, who hasn't been called up, and there could be a number of other players as time goes by. If he's not playing, or any player is not playing for their club, is it right that the international team just calls them up and overlooks players who week in, week out are putting in performances for their club?
No, I personally, I genuinely think it's unfair. But if you think about it, like, I don't blame him, because he said himself that the players that he selected, especially the young players, he chose these players because he's only going to pick these players that he sees has a future for England under him. Basically, like, he doesn't see like a player like Maddison, for example, could fit in his team, in his system. So he's only picking players that can fit in his system. And if Hudson-Odoi is like the next best behind Sterling and Sancho, whatever, to fit that system, then he's going to call him up. And I think the second part, which he didn't speak on, which for me, I think it was more of like a ploy, like I'm going to call him up because Chelsea have a transfer ban, they're not going to sign players, so the likelihood of him being sold to like Bayern or whoever wants to buy him is going to be low because they're not going to be able to buy to replace him because they have to transfer ban. So if I call him up, it puts the impetus on Sarri or whoever may be the new coach if he gets sacked, whatever, or whoever is at the head of Chelsea, to play him. Because if he can get called up for England and he must be good enough for England, he must be good enough for Chelsea. Because think about it like this, right? When you're playing Football Manager, do you ever call up players that are in the best form? It could be the deadest players playing for Reading and they're in serious form. Like it could be a Solomon Rondon, for example. I don't know. Someone that's got 20 goals in 15 games, but you're picking the person with the biggest hexagon or the most potential. And you're like, if I play this guy and get him better, he can be a consistent for me. And I think that's how he's looking at it. Like, if I call him up and I can get him to play for me and hopefully get him some first team games at Chelsea by doing this, we can improve him at a faster rate. And
so is the pressure now on Sarri to play him? He goes back to after the national break. He can't just keep sticking. Willian don't even get called up for Brazil.
Exactly.
Pedro, he don't get called up for Spain.
No, it doesn't.
Like, surely there must be pressure on Sarri now to pick.
Next Chelsea game, Willian or Pedro?
They probably will. They probably will.
So that guy's mad. that guy's mad.
He might have to drop Hazard to get Hudson-Odoi.
Easy.
I mean, Higuain don't get called up for Argentina, but Jules can still make the first team for France. And Jules can't get game. Jules still can't get game by Chelsea.
Sarri's. You know, that just done to me so many minutes. So Pedro doesn't get called up. Willian doesn't get called up. Higuain doesn't get called up, and he's overweight. But these guys are bona fide starters on the. Look, Sarri. Wow, damn.